Hey everyone, welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today's video, as you can tell from the title, is budgie pros and cons. So in this video, I'll be telling you the pros and cons about budgies. So I hope you like this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you do. Also feel free to leave any comments, like questions, video suggestions, anything like that in the comment section down below. And with that being said, I hope you enjoy and let's get into the video. I wanted to start this video with the pros first to start this video on a positive note. The first pro is that budgies can learn to talk. So don't get a bird just because you want them to talk, rather see it as a benefit. But however, if you do want a bird that will be able to talk, you would probably be better off getting one single male, as males tend to be better talkers than females, which will be in the next video. And they usually have to be alone, as they will talk more to you, and when they're in a group setting, they'll talk more to each other. This is why my birds will not be able to talk, because they talk to each other and not me. Budgies are also fairly easy to find. What I mean by this is that if you want a budgie, you can go to your local pet shop and they will have budgies. Now, if you don't want to go to a pet shop, that is completely fine. You could go to a breeder. I know that many breeders do sell budgies, but with some other animals, they're really hard to find, but not with budgies. So that's a pro if you are interested in getting one. Budgies tend to be a lot friendlier than other types of birds. Now, this may vary depending on the individual bird itself, but from my experience, my budgies have seemed to be a lot nicer than other types of birds. Also, if you are a young child or this is your first bird, budgies will usually be pretty friendly. And if a budgie did bite you, which they probably would at some stage when they're still warming up to you, it wouldn't really hurt as much. So if you get bit by a macaw or a cockatoo, they could potentially take off your finger. I know that sounds really scary, but it's true. If you get bit by a budgie, the worst that could happen is you get a little bit of blood, but it shouldn't really draw blood, which is a positive. If you have a budgie or multiple budgies, they will be fairly easy to teach new tricks to. So they may not be very advanced tricks to start with, but budgies can easily learn to step up, or they could learn to fly to you. But budgies will learn tricks if you put the time and effort into teaching them. I've had many budgies before who would voluntarily step up. It may take a while, but once you get there, they'll be really friendly and they will love learning new tricks with you. Just use millet as well, as it will help them want to learn more. Budgies are very colourful and beautiful. There is a huge variety of colours that budgies come in. The most popular one, or most common, would probably be the green, as they are the native one to Australia, but now there are all different colours to choose from. Watching budgies play is very fun to watch. Some people don't get to see their budgies doing a lot of things because they are stuck in a really tiny cage with no enrichment whatsoever, no toys at all. But if you have lots of things in your cage for your birds to do, or you give your budgies out of cage time, then they will probably be fun to watch. Although there are many pros to owning birds, there are a few cons. These cons are not to discourage you from owning budgies, they're just something to keep in mind. The first con is that budgies are messy. This goes with any bird really, but budgies are messy. For such a small little bird, they do make a lot of mess. If your budgies are inside your home, you will be sweeping around their cage at least once a day at the minimum. Just keep that in mind if you like your house to be very tidy. For some people, this may be a con. For me personally, it isn't a con because I do like to watch my birds interact with each other. But a con could be that you shouldn't have just one budgie. Instead, you should have at least two. Budgies are flock animals, and I personally feel that budgies should have a friend. Of course, every situation is different, but I do strongly believe that budgies do better when they have other companions of their own kind. If you have one budgie and then you introduce a second one later on, it is best to keep them in separate cages, but this way they can still hear and see each other. Also, they should be okay when coming outside of their cage, but they can be a bit territorial inside of their cage. But if you get two budgies at the same time, they should be fine to be housed in the same cage. Budgies are noisy. They're definitely not as noisy as other birds, such as macaws or cockatoos or other large birds, but what I mean by that is that birds, like budgies specifically, are noisy. If you have a budgie, your neighbours will know that you have a budgie. That's what I mean by that. I personally love listening to budgies, my budgies, when they chirp, but if I'm trying to watch TV or something, it can be a little bit annoying, so just keep that in mind if you can't handle a lot of noise. Budgies are very fragile and delicate. I'm not really sure why a lot of people buy budgies for their children when they want a hand-raised bird, but budgies are very delicate. So if you are getting a budgie for a young child, just make sure that that child is very gentle with birds, because budgies can be hurt really easily, so just keep that in mind. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, leave any comments down below of any questions or video suggestions you have. With that being said, I hope you enjoy. Bye!